Hello! Welcome to your chocolate tasting as part of the Imerman Angel Spirit Week Gala 2021. Yay! I'm Valerie Beck, taping live in my living room here in Chicago, and I eat chocolate every day. Will you too admit to that level of chocolate mania? That's why we're here, right? I'm so excited because what I get to share with you today is a few thoughts on how to identify sustainable and ethical craft chocolate and how to enjoy that chocolate. So let's jump in. Oh, but first, you're wearing a ball gown under your Imerman Angel swag too, right? I know that our theme is Spirit Week, and I know that obviously we're virtual, but I thought I would give you a little bit of old school gala glamour. I've got the shoes too. Really, I'm wearing the whole thing. I'll give you a twirl later. Oh, and I almost forgot my tiara. Okay, now we're ready. So perhaps you too have got the official Imerman Angels tasting kit that I put together specifically for this evening. If you do not and you're playing along with your own chocolate, that is great too. Or if you're just going to watch me eat chocolate, that's fine as well. But proceeds from the kit go to Imerman Angels, and I'm super excited to be able to contribute in that way. So before we jump into identifying and enjoying ethical, sustainable chocolate, I should tell you a quick little bit about me. You might be thinking, she's a little peppy. And I haven't even had my first piece of chocolate yet, so I've been waiting for you. I'm so excited. So again, my name is Valerie Beck, and I've been in chocolate professionally for, over 15 years now. And I've been in it personally for my entire life. I don't have to give you the full count of years there, although I don't mind doing that either. But in any case, I started my original business, Cacao Chocolate Tours, way back in the early 2000s, around the time when Johnny Imerman started Imerman Angels. And Johnny has been just a dear, dear friend for so long. I only recently joined the board after supporting the organization for all that time, and I'm just so honored to be on the board and able to contribute now in that way too. My business today is called Chocolate Uplift, and again, I distribute craft chocolate like the bars we're going to sample from the kit today. I'm also a consultant to chocolate makers. They tell me I'm like the auntie of the craft chocolate community, which I find so moving and touching. And I give presentations like this, often to corporate groups and law firms. I was a lawyer in my first career about 10 million years ago, if you can believe that. And I'm just grateful to continue on this journey. Okay. Let's eat some chocolate. So what I like to do for tastings like ours is enjoy the chocolate from lowest percentage to highest. So I'm going to start and invite you to do so as well with the Dick Taylor 55% hazelnut milk chocolate bar. Trying to give you a good screen look at that one. There we go. So how to identify that this is indeed ethical and sustainable chocolate? Well, the number one thing that I encourage you to think about so that you can make conscious chocolate choices is small batch. Yes, all of the big brands, sadly, tragically, monstrously, are complicit in child slave labor in their supply chain. I choose not to participate in that, and you do not have to participate in that. Small batch brands are step one toward the alternate supply chain that we've already set up, that's already in operation, and that you too can participate in. So I look for small batch brands. Step two, cacao country of origin. Cocoa beans do not grow in the countries that we think of as producing fine chocolate, do they? They don't grow in Belgium or Switzerland. They don't grow in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Cocoa beans grow near the equator. And indeed, people in Latin America have been enjoying chocolate for over 5,500 years. That's only as far back as we know. They might have been having chocolate parties around the world like we are today for even longer. So cacao country of origin is important because we want to know that the cocoa beans were sourced from a slavery-free farm, one that uses sustainable practices, no deforestation, no chemical pesticides and herbicides. We want clean chocolate with fair labor and respect for people and planet. So if you take a look at the back of the bar, you can see Brazilian cacao is listed. Yay! And we love the Dick Taylor team, one of my clients in California, and we love the estates where they source their ingredients, including cacao. And I love knowing that this is a small batch bar with traceable, sustainable cacao used to make the chocolate. Okay, enough talk, you're thinking? Time to eat? Cool. Well, I like to think of mindfulness when I'm enjoying chocolate. And to do that, I like to think of 3 words. Look, sniff, taste. That's how I enjoy fine chocolate, and enjoy it with me is what I hope you're going to do right now. So if you've not already opened the bar, if you've not already eaten all of the bar, in fact, if I were you and I got a kit in the mail, I don't know if there would still be any left tonight. So if you've got some chocolate left and you open the bar, you see I've got a little bit left. I like to admire the beauty of the bar, the beauty of the package. Again, this is small batch artisanal chocolate. That's what craft chocolate is. Small batch artisanal chocolate, sustainably sourced and ethically produced. And I like to take the time to admire the craftsmanship, the artistry that's gone into the bar. In fact, Adam Dick and Dustin Taylor, who are the founders of Dick Taylor, used to be boat builders and woodworkers. And that's why the molding of the design reflects that intricate level of work. Okay, so we've looked, we've admired, we've read the label. Reading the ingredients, by the way, is another clue to identifying clean chocolate. Cacao and sugar, that's all you need to make chocolate. No lecithin, no unpronounceables, no nasty ingredients. And then if you want to add hazelnuts and milk, go wild. Okay, so we've looked at all of that. Sniff. Oh, the aroma itself is intoxicating. Why do I like to sniff my chocolate? Well, if you are a wine aficionado, you're probably used to sniffing your wine. Who doesn't love the smell of coffee? Personally, I don't even drink coffee, but I love the smell of coffee. So much of taste is smell. And so when we smell first, we taste even more intensely, and we just have more of that enjoyable experience. And that's so much of what chocolate is about, isn't it? It's fun. Okay, so look, sniff, and when I'm smelling the chocolate, I'll ask myself, what notes am I perceiving? Because again, similar to fine wine or spirits or really cheeses, any type of sort of luxury food that you might be one to enjoy. The enjoyment again comes from not only the looking and the sniffing and obviously the tasting, but also the thinking, the mindfulness, the feeling. What flavors am I gaining from this aroma? Do I smell a little bit of the tang of the milk? Yeah, I get those rich sort of creamy hazelnut notes. And maybe even a little bit of the fruitiness underneath from the cacao. Cacao is so complex. Get ready, I'm going to hold up a cocoa pod. All chocolate comes from cocoa pods. You hear it like a maraca because these are dried cocoa beans inside, but you would take out the fresh beans and start making chocolate from those. And those cocoa beans are filled with different flavor compounds. So I get a little bit of the fruit note that's naturally in the cacao. No fruit was added, no fruit flavor, nothing like that. You get the idea. Look, sniffed, we're ready to taste. And if you are already tasting good, I'm going to catch up with you. I like to take that first piece and roll it around my palate. 1, 2, 3. Because this way, pardon me for talking with my mouth full of chocolate, join right in. This way, I'm letting all of my taste buds pick up different flavors. I'm breathing, again, just like you might aerate wine to release more flavors. The oxygen releases flavor compounds in chocolate as well. And so with a deep breath, I'm getting that flavor even more intensely, which is really fun, right? Now, it is true that sometimes you need 2 bites to get the full flavor. Are you with me? Go for it. While you are savoring the additional bite or 2 of your hazelnut milk chocolate, quick note about the health benefits of chocolate. One thing that I love about Imerman Angels is that it helps people get healthy. One-on-one cancer mentor support, helping that cancer fighter get strong and healthy through the support of a cancer survivor, and I am such a fan of the health benefits of chocolate. You know, the cocoa beans that are in the cocoa pod have got natural anti-carcinogen properties. They're naturally anti-cancer. A lot of that is the antioxidants that you hear about in cacao, and that's because antioxidants increase circulation, they fight oxidation, they really set up a set of conditions in the body where disease can't form. They're anti-inflammatory inducing. And so can we afford not to eat chocolate? I think you're with me that we cannot afford not to eat chocolate, so let's keep going. The second bar that I would suggest we try, you might have been thinking, wait, she said low to high percentage. We've got two 70%. What to do? Well, what I'm going to do is go Michigan, Crow and Moss chocolate made in Michigan. And if you know Johnny Imerman or you are one of his former classmates or Michigan friends, you know that he is a graduate of Michigan and a big fan and supporter. And part of the Spirit Week theme is kind of that idea of high school or college spirit, right? So I chose another wonderful brand from another wonderful client who happens to be based in Michigan. So Crow and Moss chocolate made in Michigan. But wait, you might be thinking, what about the cacao country of origin? Well, you can see it right there, India. The cocoa beans are grown by a family-owned farm in India, and it's in the Annamalai region. You might be familiar with the Annamalai Elephant Conservatory if you've ever traveled there or read about it. In any case, I'm so excited about Crow and Moss chocolate because our next step, looking at the ingredients, just 2, cacao and sugar. That's all you need. Purity. And again, that's a big clue toward knowing that we've got ethical, sustainable chocolate. The chocolate maker took the time to source clean cacao, not to adulterate it with any crazy ingredients, but just to give us that pure experience. Okay, so look, sniff, taste. Please jump right in if you have not already. Oh, and again, the aroma. Did you take a peek, by the way, at the tasting notes? Some brands like to share with you their tasting notes, and indeed Mike, who's the chocolate maker, and his wife Danielle, who's the graphic designer, added their tasting notes. Mango, lime, honey. Does that mean they've added mango, lime, and honey into the chocolate bar? No. We know that flavor comes from the cacao. And flavor comes from how the cacao is worked in the kitchen or in the factory, whether it is fermented at different times and temperatures on the farm will bring out different flavors, and whether it is roasted at different times or temperatures in the factory will bring out different flavors. And all the steps before and after and in between do as well, from the amount of rainfall that year to the amount of time grinding the chocolate in the factory. Flavor happens on the farm, flavor happens in the factory, and flavor happens here. So when I smell the bar, I definitely get some of the mango and lime coming through. For me, the honey finish comes at the end, so please go ahead and taste. Again, you're probably way ahead of me, and I will catch up. But I love that through the enjoyment of chocolate, we're able to sort of take a trip to where flavor happens, and having those mango and lime notes sort of pop and dance, and then having that little bit of sort of sweet / savory honey at the end. Just what a wonderful, wonderful culinary trip that is. Okay, so I hope you're enjoying your Crow and Moss of India. Oh, before I take a bite of that one, I think I'd better move on, or I'll be savoring so long we'll run out of time for the rest of the bars. We've talked about the cacao country of origin. We've talked a little bit about health benefits. Let's talk a little bit now about the art of chocolate making. And our next bar, as you know, is the Gotham Chocolates Independent Bar. And just the sharp visuals are striking, right? I don't know if you're a modern art fan, but the art here is designed to evoke the art of Ellsworth Kelly. Well, what's that got to do with anything, you might be asking? Well, the brand of Gotham Chocolates has a really fun story. Gotham was started at Gotham Bar and Grill, a Michelin-starred restaurant in New York City. And the pastry chef there, Ron, dear amazing Ron, decided that he didn't want to just buy chocolate for his outrageously, exquisitely delicious desserts. He wanted to make the chocolate so that he could control what the flavor would be, what the provenance would be, the heritage. He wanted to make sure that he had the right chocolate for the right desserts. And so, make it yourself. So Gotham Chocolates was started in the kitchen at Gotham Bar and Grill, and the owner, Brett, is a modern art fan, and there's an Ellsworth Kelly in Gotham Bar and Grill, which we're crossing our fingers is going to reopen in its new location, still in New York City soon. So from Manhattan to Chicago, Gotham Chocolates. And this particular bar, again, we've got that beautiful opportunity to look and admire. The glossiness of the chocolate, by the way, that's coming through nicely on screen today, isn't it? What is that glossiness really all about? Have you ever thought about that? And have you ever noticed, by the way, that sometimes chocolate might have those white or gray streaks that you might see, not on this chocolate, of course, but those streaks are called bloom. And that means that the chocolate is out of temper, which means that the molecular structure has basically fallen apart. Chocolate needs a specific molecular structure to give you this good snap. Oh, that's a good snap. That means that the sugar crystals and the cocoa butter, which is the natural plant fat of the cocoa bean, very healthy, that means that everything is aligned perfectly. It's set up perfectly within the chocolate mass. And Chef Ron, being a very precision-focused pastry chef, makes sure, of course, that his chocolate bars have got that beautiful shine, that beautiful snap. That means that flavor is going to be delivered precisely and powerfully and just as the chef intended. Okay, so Gotham Bar and Grill, Gotham Chocolates. Oh, that's an interesting aroma, right? You know, part of what I love about craft chocolate is that it kind of pushes the boundaries of what we think chocolate should taste like. Just because big corporations using bulk chocolate grown with pesticides by child labor, just because those big corporations tell us that chocolate is supposed to taste like A, B, or C, who says? The cocoa bean has got its own ideas of what it tastes like, and chefs and chocolate makers have got their ideas of how to let the cacao express its natural flavor. And so for me, this chocolate bar really pushes that boundary of what we think chocolate should taste like. Are you getting also these almost whiskey notes, these sort of aldehyde notes? I get a little bit of maybe a jasmine floral note as it opens, and then boom, it's sort of entering into this whiskey wine land. And I thought this would be a fun bar for tonight because perhaps you're doing the wine tasting as well, and this chocolate will be a fun one. They'll all be fun to pair with wine, but this one will have some specific contributions, I think, to make in a wine experience. We love the cacao farms where the cocoa beans come from. Alto Beni, Bolivia is actually a collective that gathers now wild cacao. Probably the ancestors were cultivating it after Spanish conquest. Many fields and farms and rainforests changed, and now we're seeing a revival of indigenous agriculture, which is really exciting. So we've also then got cocoa beans from Ecuador, and the Esmeraldas portion of Ecuador is near the Pacific coast, and just picture sort of Miami, but Ecuador, it's that sort of tropical vibe, so beautiful and so flavorful. So here we've got a blend. Again, it made me think of a whiskey blend. Maybe you like single origin, maybe you like blends, maybe like me, if it's chocolate, you like it all. And so I hope you're enjoying your Gotham Chocolates. Okay, well, we've got one more bar and not a lot of time, so we'll start to wrap up with bar number 4, Chocolatl, Dark and Salty. See if we can get a good screen look there. Maybe not, sort of. You get the idea. In any case, this bar is an 80%. We haven't talked about percentage yet. What does that mean? Well, this tells you the percentage of the bar that is the cocoa bean. Again, this is the cocoa pod. Inside are the cocoa beans. After you take out the cocoa fruit, you get the seeds. We call them beans. And 80% means that 80% of this bar is the cocoa bean. And so is there a right or wrong with percentage? Well, commercial chocolate bars have a very low percentage, sometimes as low as 10%. And so there's not necessarily a right or wrong, but it gives you an idea of the intensity. You might know that Johnny Imerman likes 100% chocolate bars. I didn't want to push it that intense for our event today, but I went to 80%. Uganda cacao, the bar is made in Atlanta, little sprinkle of salt, XO for chocolatl, XO for love, and I thought this would be, again, a great bar to wrap up on because for me, it just sort of ties it all together that chocolate is love. So while you're doing your look, sniff, taste with Chocolatl's dark and salty bar, I have just 2 more things to say to you. Number 1 is thank you for spending this time to support Imerman Angels, to enjoy craft chocolate. And number 2 is keep eating chocolate. Find me at chocolateuplift.com, and I'll see you soon.